Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Good Tuesday to you here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Welcome into the Lee Company studio. I'm Chris Yao. Mo Patton, as always, joining me here on this beautiful Tuesday. Glad to have you guys with us. It's Top 5 Tuesday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot to get to today. In fact, we've got some great guests. Caleb Giroux of the UT Daily Beacon will join us, talk a little women's college hoops. We'll also visit with Chip Walters, as we do each and every Tuesday, unless it's not Tuesday.
Chip said he's liable to be on the road because the Blue Raiders play at Tennessee Tech
Cookieville
tonight. So he may be somewhere between here and there, depending on whether he gets off to an early start or not. So,
well,
but he should be available.
Well, that's great. I'm excited. We'll get the chance to talk to him about what's going on in the borough, all that and more. We're going to dive into the Braves today because they made a shocking move yesterday. And so we'll try to make sense of the shortstop situation in Atlanta as they're getting ready to end spring training. But we've got some good news too. So we'll get to all of that and more. But first, Mo, what's going on this Tuesday with you? What do you got going on?
Oh, just recovering from production day for one thing, and spinning into next week, trying to figure out what we're going to put in next week's paper, and you know what we're going to leave out of future papers. So,
no kidding.
Yeah.
It is an interesting week that we have.
It's an interesting week because all of a sudden, all the hecticness of the weekend with Boys State tournament finishing up and the first weekend of the NCAAs and we got caught up in the World Baseball Classic and everything else. And now there's hardly anything. I mean, there's little to no basketball. The Predators you've kind of lost interest in after that 7-0 shellacking the other night. And there's nothing really going on the next couple of days until the NCAAs crank back up.
Yeah, but Preds really could use it. They could use a couple points tonight. It's interesting because they're still just what I think 5 points out, 4 points out.
They're running out of games, man.
Well, they have 3 games in hand on Winnipeg, though. They actually have 3 games more than Winnipeg has. So they could potentially they win those 3 games and they're in. No matter what, as long as they match Winnipeg the rest of the way. So yeah, I think there's something to that. It's really interesting because the Predators, for those who don't know, have the second longest playoff streak in NHL behind Pittsburgh's 16 with 10. So
Really?
yeah,
Did not know that.
longest playoff streak or second longest in the NHL. So it's, I mean, for no other reason, it's kind of a big deal.
So what you're telling me is the Preds are kind of the Braves North then.
Yes, yeah, a lot of playoff appearances, not much to
Not
show
a whole
for it.
lot to show for it. Yeah. So,
But again, they are dealing with.
but you got to be in it. You got to be in it to have a chance.
That's right. You got to be in
So,
it to have a chance, and even the 8th seed can make it to the finals. We've seen it twice
we have
in the last couple of years, actually.
now there's not a whole lot that makes you feel like this is a team that has that possibility, but you can't do it if you're not in.
And that's what we keep saying about Rick Barnes, right? Making the tournament is half the battle.
It absolutely is.
It's
Yeah.
half the battle.
I saw a graphic yesterday, and we're getting way off
That's fine.
subject, but this team is the 4th UT team to win 25 games or more since Rick has been there. They had 3 25-win seasons prior to Rick's arrival.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 100% plus one.
Yeah.
So just remember that, folks. But yeah, so the Preds are doing their thing. The Grizzlies are back in second place. Of course, they're a half game up with, and the Kings have a game in hand, but still, I mean, the Grizzlies are right there. That's kind of what we're going to be focused on for a little bit of time. And of course, again, we're 10 days away from the Nashville Sounds opening. So we're going to be out and about this week. Mo, we're going to be at the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame on Thursday. And if you're headed to the Preds game, or if you're just headed to Bridgestone Arena for the unveiling of the Pekka Rinne statue, we'd love to see you come to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. It's absolutely free to get in right now. I think that's Tennessee Lottery is paying your ticket this month. So you can come in. We'll be broadcasting live from 2 to 3:30. Walk around, check it out. Then go outside.
I tell you what, if you've not been to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, you need to go. And that's not just us blowing smoke trying to get you to come down on Thursday or whatever. Come Wednesday, come Friday, we don't care. But
you should,
particularly if you're from here and you are a sports fan and you've not been to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, you owe it to yourself to go.
No, 100%. So we will be there on Thursday. I'm sure as soon as the Nashville Sounds end up in Nashville, we will find our way there.
Yeah, that should be the early part of next week, I would think. Yeah.
So we'll be out and about around town the next couple of weeks. So make sure to come see us. We'd love to have you hang out with us. Now we need to get into yesterday's results, Mo, and today's schedule on the rundown.
Here's the rundown.
In high school boys baseball. In high school baseball from Monday, Summit defeated Brentwood High School 7-2. It was Clarksville defeating Clarksville Northeast 11-1 over at Hawkins Field. Marshall County in a 1-0 thriller over Columbia Central. Unless you're Mark Pickle, you probably weren't very thrilled. Community 4, Richland 3, Green Hill 10, Cookville nothing. Think they threw a no-hitter in that one, the Hawks did. Christ Presbyterian with a 6-4 win over Clarksville Academy. Eagleville defeated Laverne 10-1. East Hickman 5, Mount Pleasant 1. Oh, goodness. Middle Tennessee Christian 20, Franklin Road Academy 3. Gallatin with an 11-2 win over Lipscomb Academy. Hickman County defeated Hampshire 9-5. It was Independence 7, Henry County 1. Summertown with a 13-0 beatdown of Lawrence County. Davidson Academy 9, Lewis County 7. And Hendersonville defeated former Commando Zach Curtis and the Loretto Mustangs 11-6.
John Overton down McGavick 16-14, and Nolensville was an 8-6 winner over Centennial. Speaking of Nolensville, is McIlvain still there? Is he a senior?
He's still there. I'm not sure what class he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he did not. Well, he didn't graduate last year, so he should still be there.
He's playing somewhere. I just didn't know. Okay. Yeah. Franklin edged Ravenwood 7-6. Rossview 16-1 winners over Springfield. With Smyrna 7, Spring Hill 0, and Creekwood 5-2 winners over Stewart County. Stewart's Creek 3-2 over Blackman, and Hunters Lane 19-6 against Stratford. Columbia Academy down University School in Nashville 6-2, and Giles County was a 4-0 winner over West Limestone of Alabama. Smith County 13-5 over Westmoreland, and Zion Christian takes a pair from Houston County 13-9 and 10-9.
Speaking of Zion Christian, the Lady Eagles, right? They are Eagles. Yeah. Defeated Battleground Academy 10-0 on the diamond. It was Oakland 3, Blackman 1. Beach with an 11-9 win over Clarksville. Giles County defeated Columbia Central 6-5. I think that's the first loss for the Lady Lions. Columbia Academy with a 15-0 win over Webb School of Bell Buckle. Eagleville defeated Rockvale 12-5. It was what do they call that? The Battle of Highway 99? Yeah. Lebanon defeated Gallatin 17-13. Wow. Okay. Lincoln County 10, Lawrence County nothing. Mars Hill Bible of Alabama 8, Loretto 6. Mount Pleasant defeated Lewis County 12-2. It was Siegel with a 5-1 win over Riverdale. Summertown stays hot, coming back from the beach with a 7-0 win over Wayne County. And Middle Tennessee Christian 8, Watertown 7. In boys soccer, Tullahoma defeated Middle Tennessee Christian 4-2. Women's basketball action in the NCAAs. Whoa, what did we just do there?
No idea.
I don't know. And now I can't get out of it. Hang on.
There you go.
Sorry. Women's NCAAs, Tennessee doubled up Toledo 94-47.
I had fixed that, but I just Control-Z'd it trying to undo what you did, and that went and that came back.
Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies with a 112-108 win over Dallas.
All right, let's see if we can make this work here. Yeah, we've got baseball action, but see if you can Control-Z, Mo.
Okay.
And it might have been Justin. I'm not sure.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. We cooking with oil now. Yeah, go ahead.
Baseball today. Doubleheader action. Glencliff at Murfreesboro Central at 4 o'clock. Also at 4, Westmoreland's at Smith County. Providence Christian will go to Webb School at 4:30, and Zion Christian hosts Franklin Classical at 5. At 5:30, it's Hampshire at Hickman County, and Community at Richland at 6 o'clock. The rest of these at 6. Stewart's Creek at Blackman, Columbia Central hosting Henry County, University School Nashville at Columbia Academy, Moore County at Culleoka, Lewis County at Davidson Academy, Middle Tennessee Monarchs at Ezo Harding, Giles County hosting Forest, Santa Fe goes to Houston County, Riverdale's at home against Oakland, and Cookville's at Wilson Central.
Can hear me. Spring Hill is at Overton. Also at 6:30, Mount Pleasant is at Lawrence County. Lauderdale County of Alabama is at Loretto. Clarksville Academy goes to Donaldson Christian. Nolensville is at Centennial. Clarksville is at Clarksville Northeast. East Nashville goes to McGavock. Page hosts Ravenwood. Siegel goes to Rockvale. Springfield hosts Rossview. Brentwood is at Summit. And Franklin Road Academy is at Middle Tennessee Christian. 7 o'clock starts for Summertown at Athens, Alabama. Stewart County at Creekwood. Friendship Christian at Hendersonville, and Lebanon at Mount Juliet. Eagleville is playing at East Robertson. Not sure of a time.
Softball action at 4:30 today. Hendersonville's at Beach. McGavock hosting Hunters Lane at 5 o'clock. Ravenwood's at Summit. Spring Hill goes to Tullahoma. Watertown is at Westmoreland, and Zion Christian starts a doubleheader against Clarksville Christian at 5 p.m. Nolensville is also at Columbia Central at 5 o'clock. Loretto hosting Collinwood at 5, and Columbia Academy is at home against Middle Tennessee Christian also at 5. Davidson Academy is at Ezo Harding. Santa Fe's at Richland. Those two at 5 as well. At 5:30, it's Murfreesboro Central Magnet at Shelbyville. Eagleville hosting Community. Page is at Lawrence County at 6 o'clock. Gallatin hosts Station Camp, and Brentwood goes to Blackman. Centennial's at home against Laverne, and Stewart's Creek hosts Antioch. Culleoka goes to Wayne County, and at 6:30 it's Brentwood at Smyrna.
On the pitch, Middle Tennessee Christian goes to Friendship Christian. That's a 5 o'clock first touch. Also at 5 o'clock, Loretto is at Lawrence County. Murfreesboro Central takes on visiting Lincoln County. Whites Creek goes to Nashville Christian. At 5:30, Nolensville is at Spring Hill. 6 o'clock starts for Macon County at Watertown. Columbia Academy against visiting Webb. Clarksville is at Gallatin. Westmoreland goes to Jackson County. Hume Fogg is at Overton. 7 o'clock, Mount Juliet is at Antioch. Columbia Central goes to Brentwood. Blackman is at Oakland. Merrill Hyde goes to Portland. Riverdale hosts Rockdale. Siegel hosts Stewart's Creek. Smyrna hosts Laverne. Station Camp goes to White House. And Lebanon is at Wilson Central.
College baseball action today underway right now. Cumberland hosting number 2 Tennessee Wesleyan, and Stillman is down in Pulaski to take on UT Southern. At 4 o'clock today, Belmont will host Southern Indiana, and at 5:30, Western Carolina is at Tennessee. Vanderbilt and Lipscomb will play at First Horizon Park. That's first pitch at 6 o'clock tonight. And Middle Tennessee State is, as we said, at Tennessee Tech in Cookieville at 6 o'clock. Junior college action today, Vol State took on Calhoun Community College down in Decatur, Alabama at noon. And just moments ago, first pitch, Columbia State is down at Northwest Shoals, the Patriots, at 2 o'clock start. Softball action, Trevecca heads over to take on Christian Brothers at 1:30. They first pitch there a little earlier. And tonight, the Preds are in Buffalo against the Sabres, 7 p.m. puck drop on Valley Sports South, and that is your rundown. Phew. That was a little more strenuous today.
Take a deep breath.
Others. Of course, it didn't help that we had
some issues with the sheet.
Yeah, that may or may not have been my bad. Sorry about that.
I was like, I don't know what happened, but
I'm kind of thinking it might have been mine since I was able to fix it with the Control Z. But Justin, I'll be more than happy to let you take it.
You can take the blame all day, Justin.
Right, I got it. Lay it on me.
Today's top story comes to us from, I guess, the National Football League, because we don't have a whole lot else to talk about. Mo, Joshua Dobbs.
Important. Yeah.
I think it is. Joshua Dobbs will not be the backup quarterback for the Titans, as he has now signed a 1-year, $4 million deal with the Cleveland Browns, going back to Cleveland after his short stint in Nashville.
I'm going back to Cleveland.
On purpose.
Yeah. I hate to lose him. And I wonder what the situation was between Josh Dobbs and the Titans in terms of a 2023 contract. I mean, I don't know. Never really heard it discussed. Don't know if there were any negotiations. Don't know if they said, hey, we're not interested. Best of luck. I don't know how that worked. I would love to know.
Well, we were in a situation where, again, when we talked about this, when we were headed to the Music City Bowl with Teresa, about how you have 3 quarterbacks, but if you put one on practice squad, they can be signed to the active roster by any team. So then you kind of find yourself in a weird situation. If Josh Dobbs was going to be a practice squad member, and then Cleveland could have taken him away from you later if you wanted,
right.
If they wanted to. Right now, the Titans are just in a situation where they kind of have to be prudent with every dollar, and 3 quarterbacks doesn't make sense.
And they don't know what their quarterback situation is.
And you
to
feel
our
like
knowledge.
I guess they feel like, based on this, that Malik Willis has a future as a Titan.
And I don't know that that's a bad thing.
No, but that's clearly what they feel like. And that's okay. If that's the way they feel, then, we're just going to ride with that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. It's just that, I didn't want to see them go away from Malik Willis. I don't think that Malik Willis necessarily got a fair, I don't even want to say opportunity, but a fair read. A lot of folks somehow came to the conclusion that Malik Willis cannot play quarterback in this league based on what they saw out of him last year. And I don't know how you can come to that conclusion.
It's just ridiculous, considering what
he had to work
deal
with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
come on.
I don't know how anybody
Peyton Manning,
and
Tom Brady, Joe Montana, none of them were going to be very good based.
I just don't know how you can reasonably come to that conclusion.
I mean, it's a guy who, barring 2 ridiculous penalty calls, beats the Super Bowl champions on the road.
Oh, yeah, at their place.
So, I mean, let's calm down.
But he can't play. No. So with that said, I like the idea of Dobbs coming back just because I think he showed some stuff even in the 2 games that he started and lost. Because again, neither of those guys played with a full deck from a personnel standpoint. I mean, I'm not sure how you can judge anybody off of last year's performance with this team.
But again, the third quarterback was just a problem. And
Yeah,
you don't want to have Malik Willis out there available for 31 other teams to sign anytime they feel like it.
Yeah. So wish Josh well. Do we play Cleveland this year?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you what the schedule looks like. So
I mean, I don't know that.
Not that he's going to be playing unless there's
unless
a
something
Deshaun
happens to Watson.
Yeah. Because so I mean, I guess I just hate it. I wish I loved seeing him here in Nashville, even if he is still blocking me on Twitter. Some of us couldn't get lucky and get unblocked, Mo, like you did.
Hey, I don't know. Well, I don't know what I did to get unblocked, but I don't know what I did to get blocked either. And I was within 10 feet of the subject last Thursday and just could not bring myself to go and ask him in the middle of his crawfish.
Yeah.
Yo, Stack, what's up? The Titans do in fact play Cleveland on the road at some point this year, according to Jim White's article soon after the season on Titans Online. So
there you go. All right. Time for our first break of the day. Caleb Giroux of the Tennessee Daily Beacon coming to you right after this. So y'all stick around. We'll talk a little Lady Vol hoops right after this on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be back to the Lee Company studio in just a moment. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint, back in the Lee Company studio here as we are getting ready to talk a little Lady Vol hoops as they are making their second consecutive trip to the Sweet 16 under Kelly Harper. It's exciting, and they have certainly made their presence felt in the first two rounds, at least offensively and defensively too, because they are scoring in bunches and other teams are not scoring much at all against the Lady Vols. We'll see how that translates against Virginia Tech in the regionals. And now we are joined by Caleb Giroux, who covers Lady Vol hoops for UTK's Daily Beacon. Caleb, thanks for joining us, man. What's up?
Nothing much. How are y'all? Have you recovered from the state championship week?
We're trying.
Yeah, it's a slow go, man. But have you recovered from TBA activities over the weekend? I mean, like Chris said, Tennessee threw up some points, doubled up Toledo last night, and scored 95 on St. Louis on Saturday after a little bit of a slow start. I mean,
I've never seen a scorekeeper sweat. And
yeah, they so with their first two wins of 45 points or more, they become just the fourth team to do that, and the other three teams were UConn, and they went to the Final Four twice. So if that's telling you anything, I guess the Lady Vols are going to have a pretty good trajectory they're following right now.
I'm going to find out about that trajectory, I guess, with their next one. They got the top seed, Virginia Tech, all the way over in Seattle. Which, Caleb, do you have any idea what the thought process was behind going to two spots for the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight?
I think it was really for I mean, every decision is driven by money, I guess. But I know you look at the Seattle region, it's the only person close, I guess, is Iowa or Colorado. The teams in the Seattle region are like Virginia Tech, UConn, Ole Miss, Louisville. So it's just, I wish it was still 4 sites. And I really like that in the women's game, you get the host sites, you get that post game or that postseason game on your home court. I really feel like that makes it a little bit more special, and your fans actually get to enjoy that. Of course, unfortunately now for Tennessee fans, they have to tune in to ESPN2 because their team is traveling 36 hours away to on the opposite side of the country.
Let me just say this. Travel traditionally has not been an issue for Tennessee fans, and I will be intrigued to see how they turn out in Seattle for this weekend. So,
yeah, I'm curious to see for all the teams because, I mean, I guess it'll be a true neutral site because there's no teams like South Carolina gets to go to Greenville. Obviously, there will be South Carolina fans, but I don't think there's going to be anybody anywhere close in Seattle. So it'll be interesting to see how many people show up and what the attendance is like.
Yeah, it certainly didn't help them that Stanford got beat.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of like that New York regional with Tennessee and FAU in it. It's like, guys, we could have had better. Colorado being the closest team at all to Seattle. I mean, the other side, Virginia Tech, Ohio State, UConn, Ole Miss, Louisville, Colorado, and Iowa are the 8 teams in Seattle. So there you go. That's rough, but obviously Virginia Tech with 15-point win over UT Chattanooga, and then that 12-point win against South Dakota State. Certainly not destroying teams like Tennessee has, but Virginia Tech has been really good all year long. Obviously, their conference is really good. Miami taking down Indiana early, in the second round. So tough matchup for the Lady Vols.
Yeah, and they have Elizabeth Kitley, obviously, who was nominated today for the Naismith Award. She made the Final Four for that award. So obviously she'll be a handful for the Tennessee, but they played Virginia Tech on December 4th, and it was in Thompson-Boling Arena, and Virginia Tech took that game by 3 points. But when you look at the lineup Tennessee ran out for that game, Tamari Key was still in the lineup. She hadn't had her season-ending diagnosis yet. And then 2 of Tennessee's 3 posts that have recently caught fire for them, Jillian Hollingshead and Jasmine Franklin, has been really good on the defensive end. Neither of them played against Virginia Tech. And then obviously the most notable would be Rakia Jackson, who's averaging almost 20 points a game and is just unstoppable when she gets in the post. I mean, she also did not play against Virginia Tech, and they only lost by 3 in December. So when you look at that, obviously Virginia Tech has come a long way, but I feel like this Tennessee team is hitting its stride at the right time to where that matchup is probably favorable for them. And I guess if you want to take travel into consideration, you really can't, because both teams are traveling halfway across the country. So, yeah, Tennessee blew out their first 2 opponents, and Virginia Tech took care of business. It wasn't as much of a rout as Tennessee's were, but I think their margin of victory combined was 37 that I had it up this morning. So definitely nothing to look over, but I feel like that matchup is pretty favorable for the Lady Vols.
Caleb Giroux of the UT Daily Beacon joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And Caleb, as you said, offensively in particular, it really feels like UT is clicking on all cylinders here all of a sudden, getting points from a number of different players and a number of different positions. I mean, they're scoring from all over the floor, it seems like, at all 3 levels, as coaches like to say these days, which I would think really makes them dangerous against top seed Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and last night they had 5 players in double digits, and more importantly, Sarah Puckett got a hot hand last night. And she's somebody who has kind of sort of been in a sophomore slump compared to her freshman year. I think this year she's averaging 7 or 8. Or last year, excuse me, she averaged almost 7 or 8 compared to this year. She's sitting at about 4. So getting her hot from beyond the arc is big. Last night, the offense was clicking on all cylinders. They were really working inside out, which is something Kelly Harper has preached all year, that no matter how many times she's told it to us and probably told it to the team, it hasn't always translated onto the court. And also a big thing last night was they were passing the ball a lot. So their assist to shot field goal ratio was very high, which is another thing Kelly Harper really wants. And so and then in this tournament, which is something that Tennessee can do because they have, depth, 12 players who could probably play in a game, they were able to push the pace against St. Louis in particular. And then Toledo likes to push the pace, but they never got the chance because Tennessee started hitting shots and was pushing the pace back. So, I mean, like against St. Louis, Tennessee went on a 29-0 run from the second to third quarter. So you want to talk about offense, but really the defense is clicking as well. And it really just seems like everything is coming together for this team. And what better time for that to happen than in March?
0. There ain't one. I mean, that's the facts. I mean, you cannot express how important it is to be playing your best basketball right now. And, obviously Tennessee got routed in the SEC championship game, but you saw it in the SEC tournament. They really have played. They've played extremely well, obviously beating LSU over the last month. And, you feel pretty good even taking on Virginia Tech in the 1 seed and then looking at likely, UConn in the Elite 8. You feel really good about this particular Tennessee team, something you did not necessarily feel 6 weeks ago.
Exactly. And when you want to talk about moving on to UConn, that's a scary matchup as well. But I wouldn't overlook Ohio State in that game either, because Tennessee has played both UConn and Ohio State. So either way, it'll be a rematch for them. And they lost both of those games. But in that Ohio State game to open the season, Ohio State really showed that this year would be the year of their defensive press. And it is just suffocating. We saw it against North Carolina. I mean, they were just pressing them all the way up the floor. And it runs down the clock. It gets the other team tired. I mean, it has to be just so aggravating that you can't even get the ball to half court without having somebody pressing you all the way there. So Ohio State, I don't know. I don't think they'll beat UConn, but it would definitely be a formidable opponent. And then obviously if they're getting pressed and pushed around, it'll make it a little easier on the Lady Vols when they face UConn a day later. But another storyline to follow is UConn's Final Four streak. I don't know. Gino will probably have a little fire under his belt when he's going against Kelly Harper because he doesn't want to lose his Final Four streak to Tennessee, and we know what that rivalry is like. So that Elite Eight matchup will definitely be a fun one to watch if that is what happens.
Well, I'd like to see it just to see how it's officiated because, he won't have TBA to fall back on if it gets officiated any differently. So, whatever.
Caleb, you talked about the fact that Tennessee has lost to, Virginia Tech Ohio State and UConn. How do you feel like this schedule has prepared them for this stretch and the way they're playing right now?
Well, I think it allowed them to face adversity early to get some of the growing pains out of the way. Obviously, this team had a lot of newcomers, a lot of transfers. I mean, Rakia Jackson transferred from Mississippi State, point guard transfer in Jasmine Powell. Your two posts right now that are putting in a lot of work behind the starter, Caroline Strickland, are both transfers. So I think having an early front loading all those ranked teams allowed this team to grow quickly through adversity compared to, if you want to say, LSU, who faced nobody in the non-conference slate. Well, the first adversity they really faced was probably Tennessee at home, and they got a couple calls to go their way and ended up winning that game. And then they go to South Carolina and get beat. They play Tennessee in the SEC tournament and get beat. So I trust Tennessee now a lot more to face these number one seeds, these ranked teams in the NCAA tournament, compared to a team like LSU, where you don't know what happens whenever they're down or when they're fighting against a ranked team. And it is just kind of something that comes with playing at Tennessee, that you play these ranked teams, you play these ranked opponents, and you're always on the biggest stage. So, like, when they faced UConn, I mean, it was a 13,000, 14,000 person crowd at Thompson Bowling Arena on ABC. So they're not immune to being on national television, playing good teams, and now they get to travel to Seattle in the Sweet 16 and do the same thing.
I really thought, Caleb, big kudos to you for the way that you've covered this program, because I cannot express to you how intriguing this story was about the Whoop wristband, the Edie Darby story. It feels like this program is getting some contribution from every level, whether it's the athletic trainers to the scout team to assistant coaches, and then obviously with Rakia Jackson and Tamari Key both saying that they're coming back next year. Just feels like this is a really tight-knit group. And how much impact does that have on, obviously having success this time of year?
Yeah, a big storyline over the NCAA tournament was to stay or go. And with NIL money, it kind of, that's the thing people fall
That
back
helps.
on. It's like, oh, in a NIL money, they might stay for money, they might not. And when I talked to both Rakia and Tamari, they said that they considered it, but that was like fourth or fifth on their list. And they both talked about how just being a family atmosphere and how they wanted to just keep playing. They love Tennessee so much. They wanted to keep playing in college and keep playing with their teammates, and how it's just a big family in that locker room was really what made them want to come back. And Rakia, especially at Mississippi State, she had 3 different head coaches, and there was so much turnover in that program, and it really wasn't it was not a good environment. And she talked about how at Tennessee, this was like one of the first times she's actually had fun. Obviously, she has fun playing basketball. This is like one of the first times she's had fun with her team and had fun with her coach, and felt like it was a family atmosphere. So why would she leave for the WNBA after 1 year if she has another one? So that kind of went back into her decision. And we still don't know point guard Jordan Horston's decision. I personally thought she would be the first one to announce what she was going to do, just because she had been in the program for 4 years and around Kelly Harper. But she's still weighing her options, and I figured she'll probably wait until the end of the year. I think the deadline for the WNBA draft is March 27th or 3 days after your last game. So if they make it to the Final Four and they lose, she would have 3 days after that game to announce if she wanted to go to the draft or not. So that's another decision to watch, but I do feel like this program is in a good spot right now, and I feel like the adversity has brought them closer together as a family and really helped team chemistry.
Caleb, do you feel like the fact that Jordan has not made an announcement means anything?
I don't think so. I'm sure she probably either has a decision already or she's weighed it, but she's a player who's really a competitor and focuses on – I asked her about facing UConn again, and she said she's worried about Virginia Tech right now. She doesn't want to talk about UConn. Just one game at a time. And I think she said that she doesn't want to be a distraction, and she doesn't want that decision to distract from this team's NCAA tournament run. So I feel like she probably has a good idea of what she's going to do, but for her right now, just beating Virginia Tech or whoever their next opponent is her number one priority, and she doesn't care about if she's coming or going right now.
Would you hazard a guess?
I've gone both ways. I thought she would, I thought she would consider it for sure, because she's someone who's very bought into Tennessee, and she's flying up the records. And women's basketball is kind of unique as to in men's basketball, for example, if a player like peaks, like has a super good year, and they decide to come back to college, have a bad year, their draft stock drops. Well, for somebody like Jordan Horston, if she comes back, I don't think her draft stock will change at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if she came back. I'm kind of leaning towards that, but I am not 100% sure. When Rakia announced, I thought Jordan would follow, but who knows?
And I think Tamari Key really laid out some good points for someone, of their stature on the women's basketball landscape, in terms of why she decided to come back. And it's like, why get out there and run the risk of not making an WNBA roster, and then you're, kind of out in the cold, so to speak, when you know what you've got here. So,
and especially for somebody like Tamari, she can use that COVID year to kind of leverage herself and let pro teams, whether it be overseas or the WNBA, know like she had recovered from her medical issues and she's back to being the same player she was before. And really the COVID year opens up a lot of opportunities for athletes like that, where, it's not necessarily, they're probably not going to make a lot of money in the WNBA. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. So they might as well spend another year in college and have fun and chase a national championship. They like the environment. And like a lot of them said, it's a family atmosphere. So really, unless they have a reason to jump, just stay and enjoy another year.
As close as this team is, and with both Tamari and Rakia coming back, I feel like Jordan, especially if they make a Final Four run, and I think that may have a lot to do with it, is, does she feel like this team can get over the hump? Because if they can, they get to the Final Four, maybe even make a national championship game, even if they have to play South Carolina, you go, man, we got one more chance to restore the glory. And do I want to be part of that? I feel like if anybody does, she does, because she, like you said, she's been there 4 years. She's really bought into this program. So I am prayerful. I am hopeful, especially considering, the the recruiting class or lack thereof. So let's go run it back with the ones we got, I guess.
Yeah, and when you look at next year, I really do think the team will be successful. The only thing that might cause an issue is point guard. They're losing Jordan Walker, who's their starting point guard right now. And obviously Jordan Horston can play point guard, but I feel like she was recruited as a point guard as well. But I feel like she really strives when she's on the wing and doesn't have to worry about passing the ball, and she can really worry about either taking her opportunity or swinging to somebody else. So realistically, if they can get a good point guard out the portal, or, free athlete who hasn't signed yet who's good and brings them in, I feel like that team could be really dangerous next year.
Sure. Caleb, looking forward to this. I assume you're not going to Seattle.
Unfortunately not, no.
But I know that you have built good enough relationships that you'll be covering this team as well as anyone right now. So appreciate you coming on to talk to us about it, and we're looking forward to seeing this Virginia Tech game on Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah,
Saturday
at 6:30 on ESPN2. So it's 3:30 local time.
Okay,
gotcha.
3:30 in Knoxville.
3:30 in Seattle.
6:30 here, 3:30 in Seattle, which is another. I guess every March Madness game now will be Pac-12 after dark because they're going to Seattle.
That might bode well for the Lady Vols. So
the important
who knows?
The important time is 5:30 for our listeners here in Middle Tennessee.
Yes.
So
it's 5:30 Central Time.
Yeah. Okay.
So all right, Caleb, we appreciate it. Take care, man, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Have a good one.
Take a quick break. When we come back, we will dive into the Braves. Goodness gracious. Trying to make sense of the shortstop situation, but some good news is on the horizon. So stick around. We'll tell you what it is right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller from Mornings on Main Street. Join us March 23rd at Bridgestone Arena with the Nashville Predators for Main Street Media Night. I know Devin O'Day will be here.
You know I will be, Stephanie. Plus, you can register for a Predators prize pack. They were going to call it the Hockey Hootenanny, but they changed. So that it's going to have 4 tickets and food vouchers. You got to register to win.
We're looking forward to seeing all of our Main Street Sports Today fans, right, Chris?
Absolutely, we are. And we could not do this without, of course, our owner, Dave Gould, and our friends here at Smashville.
Speaking of,
Where is Dave?
we will see you March 23rd for Main Street Media Night. Let's go, Chris!
Do I have the wrong night?
Walmart Supply Chain is hiring in Lebanon. Earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and premium perks, including 100% paid college tuition, 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership that includes discounts, and free Paramount Plus, paid time off, and so much more. Fulfilling work starts right here. Text JOIN to 240-240. That's JOIN 240-240 to apply now.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton here with you on this Tuesday edition. Chip Walter still to come in just a few minutes, and we're about to give you our take on the Atlanta Braves. But first, Justin.
All right. We got the question of the day for you guys. If you're ready, I'll go ahead and fire away. Ready?
Fire away.
We're as ready as we're going to be.
All right.
All right. Would you rather always have a full phone battery or a full gas tank?
Full gas tank.
That depends.
No, I typically carry a portable charger with me. So I'm prepared for the biggest part of the time if my phone looks like it's going to die. But Chris, you in particular now.
Well, here's the thing. Do I have to pay for the full gas tank? Like, is there how does that work?
I'm assuming it's like if you if your phone stays charged at 100%, then your gas just never dwindles. You know what I'm saying? You just
If I never have to pay for gas, then absolutely that 100%.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's kind of an easy one.
But if you are out there and you are looking for a way to always have a full gas tank, please call Justin and Chris at Gas for You, where we bring the gas to you. Justin has this business idea where you sign up on a subscription service, and like every 3 days or whenever you get on an app and click I need gas, they come to your house, fill your car up with gas, and you pay them.
Yes.
This is genius.
Right. So like the snapshot for Progressive, it can tell like how fast you're or whatever. So what you put in the vehicle when your tank gets to a certain point, We get
We
a
just come out and fill
get
it
a
up.
notification during the night. We come by your neighborhood, and you wake up the next morning. You got full tank.
You can't
The
tell me
gas
this is
fairies,
not.
huh?
Gas fairy.
You can't tell me this is not the greatest thing you've ever heard in your life.
Hashtag gas fairies.
You know?
Gasfairies.com.
You
Nail it
never have to
down.
think of all the money you would save by not going to the gas station and getting a Coke or
Right.
a Snickers or
Just having the gas brought to you and not
Exactly.
and
People pay $50
and you
for
know
Uber
what?
Eats.
And if you want, you can just click like, hey, bring me a Snickers bar and we'll leave it on your dash.
Exactly. Yes. As long as
It's really pretty genius, Mo.
you in? No, you in? Investors, possibly.
you know the
you.
thing is in the culture that we're in now where people have Subway sandwiches delivered, this could probably work.
Oh, it would definitely
People
work.
would do this.
Upper
People
middle
would pay to
class?
have gas delivered. Yes, please.
I agree. I agree. Especially the
Yeah.
neighborhoods with the upper middle class. You know, they don't want to go to a gas station.
I mean, people have meals delivered. People have groceries delivered. I mean, obviously Amazon and everything else. Yeah, I mean, why not deliver gas?
Right. And we do it during the night, so it won't be any inconvenience to you.
The only issue is how are you going to access, because most people have the gas
Mm,
lids or whatever that have to be opened
good
from
point.
inside the vehicle. And who leaves their cars unlocked in the middle of the night? I guess if you know you've got gas coming, you would prepare for that.
Right.
Right,
So
right.
that's why you click the little button that says I need gas and then we come to your house.
Mm-hmm.
But if I get to your house to bring you the gas and I can't leave the gas, then what?
but
you get charged anyway?
Well, it's a monthly subscription.
Yeah, it's a monthly subscription.
Yeah. So no matter how many times you need it during a month, maybe it's a couple times, maybe it's 16 times, you pay flat rate each month.
It's a flat rate. Plus the cost of the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of vehicle you have, I guess. Yeah.
That's
This
it's
could
an
work.
it's an intriguing
I got
it's an intriguing concept for sure.
I got the idea from I went to Talladega and there was this person driving around delivering porta potties to campsites. And I was like, it's genius. It's just like, why not deliver amenities that people always need?
I don't think I want to do that one.
Well, yeah, that we're just doing gas.
Yeah, we're just doing gas. That's
Anyway, that's
there are worse ideas.
there are in fact worse ideas out there.
I'll
There's
take
no
it.
question. Oh man, yeah, it's kind of like AAA. It's like I have Verizon, so roadside assistance. So in the event I do run out of gas and I don't, and I'm not within walking distance of a gas station like I was the last time I ran out of gas, then
You
I
still
can
don't want to make that walk twice, like
no,
you wound up doing.
They bring me 3 gallons of gas and I'm good to go. So that's kind of nice.
Too funny.
All right, let's talk a little Braves here. Braves chatter, if you will. First Braves chatter of the year.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Braves announced yesterday they are optioning both Brandon
They couldn't pick between the two of them, so they just said, you know what? Both
We're
of
not
y'all
going
get
to
out
take
of
either
here.
of them.
Yeah.
And there have been plenty of rumors as to why.
And I think that's all any of them is, because unless or until Alex Anthopoulos tells us why the decision was made, nobody's going to know.
And you know what? I don't think it's the injury, the hernia issue.
Well, because as Toscano pointed out, I think Grissom practiced every day that he did not play during that 5-game stretch.
Correct.
So it wasn't injury related. And I will tell you, Peter Gammons isn't the gospel that people want to make him across baseball. I had a personal situation where Peter Gammons had my ass in a sling because I reported something that he reported, and it was about a local professional baseball player who both he and his high school coach reached out to me and let me know in no uncertain terms I was wrong. So I got issues with Peter Gammons anyway.
Well, I'm just, I guess my thought process is this is not the first time that we've had unproven guys, needing to take a position. I'm not sure that, and Orlando Arcia played really well last year when he had an opportunity. We talked about him all year long being a guy that, really stepped up for the Braves, but I don't know that he's an everyday guy. Maybe he is, but I mean, his career numbers certainly don't say he is.
Arcia?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. When he was in Milwaukee, he did some pretty good stuff. I mean, I don't know how he fell out of favor up there or what exactly the situation was, but I mean, maybe the decision was that these guys just need more work at the AAA level, that they don't need to get this work up here just yet. I don't know if
what
they're
are
both going to
are they both going to play?
My guess is one of them's going to play second, one of them's going to play short, and they're going to flip back and forth. That's my guess, because that's the best way for both of them to get work at shortstop, I think. But I mean, I don't have anything to base that on. I mean, I don't know exactly what the deal is, but I think a factor in this was if Arcia is the starter, then Adrianza is the backup, and he has had a heck of a spring, and you weren't going to be able to keep one of the two young kids, Arcia and Adrianza, and he would have gotten picked up. So, I mean, you may not necessarily have the best available shortstop, but it sounds like you may have the best possible roster by doing it this way.
I just don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
It is a weird thought process.
But I just think it's funny that, the number of people that came into the season saying, or into the offseason saying that if we lose Dansby, we got to go get a veteran shortstop. And now that's completely flipped. Well, why aren't we going with one of the rookies? Why aren't we going with one of the young kids? And
there's precedent for this within the Braves organization. Austin Riley over Johan Camargo.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like we've not taken a year of, average to sub-average performance in order to get a guy experience at the next level to be the guy going forward. Now, obviously, you feel like you got a chance to win the thing every year. So you want to have the best possible roster available at all times. But, I don't know that this is the best idea, but I'm certainly not going to say that it's not going to work long term.
I don't know that it's the best idea, but I don't know what the best idea is. And
Braden Shoemake certainly made this a problem. I mean, he created an issue by coming up and playing as well as he did in spring training, and now the Braves have three guys who
for one position,
and you can't necessarily have that. So I'll be curious to see how long it takes for Vaughn Grissom to come back, if at all.
And there's talk about maybe him eventually being a left fielder. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Isn't that where he's supposed to play?
Well, he came up as a short. I mean, he'd come through the system as a shortstop.
Okay.
So, but Apparently, there are concerns about his range. I don't know. There are smarter guys than me watching him that could tell you how accurate that is. But I don't know. I think we're just going to need to let this thing play out seriously. And and that's not a popular decision.
Well, what else
wait
are we
and
going to
see.
do?
You know what?
we're just fans. We're gonna cheer for the people who are on the field.
But there are a lot. It seems that there are a large number of folks that don't grasp that concept. I mean, we're just fans. We can't make them do anything.
Think about all the Twitter GMs over the years that have been proven wrong thanks to Alex Anthopoulos and his infinite wisdom. So
yeah. So I mean,
in Alex we trust. I'm not going to question Alex Anthopoulos in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That's all I'm going to say.
He seems to be right a lot more often than he is wrong. Now, the pitcher, Cole Hamels, that didn't work.
Well, it didn't work physically, but he was apparently pretty important in the development of one Mike Soroka and Max Fried. And Mike Soroka, who is set to pitch tomorrow for the first time.
Yeah.
After was it a hamstring injury last year?
Yeah.
He's apparently been pitching for a while now, simulations and that sort of thing. So he seems to be good to go. What can we reasonably expect from Mike Soroka tomorrow? What should we reasonably expect?
I think you just want to see what his command looks like. I mean, I don't think you look at stats at all, really. I just think you look at, what his pitches look like and what he's able to accomplish in terms of commanding the strike zone with everything. But I don't know that you're looking to see, strikeouts or hits or anything like that. I just think you want him to be comfortable in game-like situations right now because it's been so long since he's been in one.
Yep. And look, if he's able to go out there and complete his however long they want him to throw,
however many pitches they want him to throw or whatever, I think
if he can complete that, I'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So
and come out healthy.
And that's what I'm saying. He's got to be able to complete it and be healthy and ready to go in 5 more days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm hopeful for. Looking forward to seeing what he's able to do tomorrow. Should be a good one. We've got Chip Walters standing by of the Blue Raider Network. So y'all stick around here with us on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back after this.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you. No matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio, as we are every single day right here on the show with Mo Patton and Chris Yao. Glad to be with you. And it is Tuesday, and that means it's Top 5 Tuesday. But also, we get to talk to Chip Walters, who joins us via vehicular today.
That's correct.
Chip, thanks.
Can you hear me today?
Yeah, man.
We can hear you. Where are you?
I am actually crossing the Stones River at Walter Hill, heading up 231 to go to Cookeville for baseball tonight.
Watch the potholes.
Yeah, we're on 231 or I-40.
Yeah, 231. Looked like you got bounced there just as you were saying that. So
that was just getting on and off the bridge, which is that one's nothing compared to those on 840.
Oh gosh. You can literally get air on 840.
That's right, and it's better than it was. They fixed it a little bit.
Chip, what are you looking for out of the Blue Raiders tonight after taking 2 of 3 from Western over the weekend?
Well, that and they've won 3 out of 4 going back to playing Tennessee Tech last week, so this will be the return game in Cookeville. Last year James Sells, a kid out of Winchester, got his first start and helped lead Middle to a win in Cookeville last year, but he has now moved in. He's kind of become the long man on the weekend, and it's going to be one of the young guys going tonight, probably a little bit of Johnny Allstaff, as you tend to have in midweek games. Trying to keep an eye on the weather also, because my position tonight will not be covered. It will be outside in the stands at Busch Stadium.
That's BUSH Stadium.
That's correct. Right. Like the beans.
not like the arch. Huh?
Correct. But look at there. There's the boss lady.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep her out of here, but it's not working.
Well, hey, little kids mean big ratings, so make sure you keep her on.
Nice. Chip, you say Johnny Holstaff for this one. I don't think our guy Brian Baranek threw against Western. I didn't see him in the Sunday or the Saturday boxes, and I think I know who started Friday. But is he a possibility to see mound time tonight?
He is, but I don't. I saw, and I just glanced. Didn't commit it to memory, but I don't think it's his. I didn't see his name.
Mm-hmm.
But he had he came in relief, I think, over the weekend. So it's going to be somebody else, and I just don't have the name at the tip of my tongue. But it's interesting. Last week Middle beat Tech 11-3 in Murfreesboro, and even in the game they lost to Western, they've really kind of had the bats going, and Kevin Nichols is the hitting coach, and he's felt pretty strongly all spring that they were going to be a pretty good hitting ball club, and they have been, and they and this pulling all the pitching together. They knew what they had with Ham, and then trying to work around that and come up with your full rotation, and that's starting to come together. I think that the pitching staff is really I think they really like the approach that the coach has with them. So it'll be interesting. I'm going going to try to talk to on Jerry Meyer's staff. I'm going to try to grab him for pregame interviews since he's more head tonight. The first pitch is scheduled for 6 o'clock, and trying to beat a little bit of rain that'll be coming in, especially later on in the night.
So it's going to be sophomore Rockville product Daniel Dewey on the bump tonight from our Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah, you mentioned
that's
James.
correct.
Yeah, Chip, you mentioned James Sells. He got the save on Friday night. Was the fourth pitcher, the third out of the bullpen for MTSU. Jaden went 4 2/3. I guess that was probably his worst or shortest start of the year. Baranek came behind him for 2. Patrick Johnson went 2/3 of an inning, got the win, and Sells went an inning and 2/3 and got the save there in the 12-8 win. So as you said, the bats are starting to come together for Middle, and had to kind of pick up the pitching this time around.
Yeah, exactly. And this was the first conference weekend, and it was important to get 2 out of 3 from Western, which the unusual part about the conference schedule this year is here in about 3 weeks, they'll play Western again in Bowling Green. So they'll still play a 30-game conference schedule, but you're going to have 6 of them against your arch rival, and everybody around the league has that they're going to play twice. This week, however, it'll be
Turnabout's fair play, Mo. Normally it's us doing this to him.
Yeah. As he was breaking up, Middle goes to Florida Atlantic for 3 this weekend.
Mo, did you see that Sam Doughton's notebook report?
Mm-mm.
Baseball takes 2 from the red team. That's phenomenal.
I like it. That's good.
It's a great look on Chip there.
Yeah, hopefully we get him back because after this series at Florida Atlantic this weekend, the Blue Raiders go to Toyota Field in Huntsville for a midweek game next Tuesday against Alabama.
Oh, University of Alabama?
University of Alabama, the Crimson
Nationally
Tide.
ranked?
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
They
I
just
didn't know.
They were 18th to start the year. I wonder where they are now.
Depends on whose ranking you're looking at.
Yeah, and that'll get you every time. Hey, there he is.
Sorry about that.
Himself.
Hey, it happens. As
Turnabout's
Chris was-
fair play.
Yeah, there we go. Because it's usually us that's blacking out, and you're having to cover the show for some period of time. So welcome back. Appreciate you.
Well, thanks. I don't know if you all had kind of ventured over into basketball at all, but did you guys catch Colorado beating Duke last night at Cameron Indoor? And I think there was a bit of a surprise of how easily Colorado handled Middle in the first round and had a great night shooting the basketball. But they give them credit; they backed it up last night with an excellent performance against Duke.
Absolutely. Yeah, they handled Duke, like you said, at Cameron, and doesn't happen very often, but I think it does make you feel a little bit better about their performance against MTSU on Saturday because and I certainly needed to feel better because that was tough. That was tough. That was
and it came very quick. It came very quickly too.
It really did, man, because it just felt like they didn't miss from behind the arc, and
got it down to 5, and then boom, back up to 14 before halftime.
And every time Middle made a run at them, they'd knock down a couple of threes, and it's like, no, you're not getting back into it, and it's just a tough night, and at the worst time to have a tough night.
Yeah, it was, but I think they validated, that was an excellent opponent, and it takes really nothing away from the year that Coach Ensel's ball club had, and you think about uh, Alexis Whittington really is about the only person you're going to lose off of this group, and so that's a nice starting point for building for next year.
Yeah. Maleshka as well. Is that right?
Well, that one may be up in the air. She graduated, but she may have that extra year. It's so hard. We're in a period of about 5 years right now that where kids either do or don't have that extra COVID year and that to get that 5th year of eligibility. So we're cycling through that, and I'm not exactly sure where she falls in that.
Okay. Well, I know she went through senior day festivities.
Yeah. So but I know Anastasia Boldreva, she's already talking about the what she needs to do in the off season to come back, and if indeed Maleshka, has indeed expired her eligibility, you'd love to find somebody just like her to do with that same skill set.
That's certainly an impressive skill set that she has, to be able to step away the way she does and at the same time be able to go to work down in the post. So, she is a special talent. And, you get Courtney Whitson back, you get Courtney Blakely back, you get Savannah Wheeler back. I mean, the bulk of that team they're locked and loaded for next year.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what the schedule's going to be like, because it's always tough. It's always good. And the league is going to be different. UTEP, who's been one of the toughest opponents they've had, will still be in the conference, but you're going to not have North Texas, Rice, UAB, Charlotte, and FAU. They'll all be leaving, but you gain back New Mexico State, Jacksonville State, Sam Houston, and Liberty. Liberty, they've been good across the board in everything they've done. So it'll be an interesting league next year in everything, including women's basketball, men's basketball, and football in particular, with the changes that we've seen in that landscape.
Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And Chip, we mentioned that the women's team for next year is locked and loaded. The men's team, not so much. Bunch of guys in the transfer portal.
Yeah, had five guys went in, and one of the things we talked about this year was that Middle was one of only 2 schools in the entire country this past season that did not gain nor lose anybody through the transfer portal. Middle and Navy were the only 2. So, we're really kind of going through something that everybody else has gone through. And Eli Lawrence, who's a starter, he's testing those waters with going into the portal. T. Leonard as well. So as a starter, he was about a 50% starter this year. Tyler Millen was about a 4-point a game guy. Christian Fussell, he's played 1 game since January, and Trayvon Smith has scored in 1 game since January. So those are guys who are looking to find a spot that will, or those 2 guys in particular, Tyler, Fuss, and Trayvon, are trying to find a place where they can land and play and get the minutes that they're looking for. T, I'm not sure where, what direction he may go. Eli, as a graduate transfer, he may have some options, but it all depends on if the phone rings and who's on the other end. I will say this, that I know that is that's going on. I heard Nick on in an interview talk about that there were 1,700. He had the exact number, 1,730 players a year ago that went in the portal, and when you divide that out by 365 schools, that averaged out as 5 per school. So it's
just as many can come in as go out, I think is what he's saying.
Yeah.
No,
And,
and that's the thing about the transfer portal. It probably disrupts the chemistry of your team, but honestly, you can get better in the transfer portal. You can.
Yeah, and I think when you look at, you've got 3 guys who were totaled about 5 per game. In those 3 slots, you have an opportunity to really improve yourself.
Sure.
You got to be careful though. I mean, because
absolutely,
you even if you're bringing talent in, it's got to fit. Isn't just a myth,
Oh, I know, and it's and the thing is, it's everybody's dealing with that now, and as Nick was talking about, he goes, used to you could kind of have a little, you could sleep well at night, saying, okay, this kid finished up a good freshman year, he'll get better next year, and then you'll have 2 more years for him to really produce. Now you have to, you can lose a lot, but you can also gain a lot or more, and the way I look at it is, it's harder to, you don't build a program anymore, you build a series of teams.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm not sure that I'm a huge fan of that, but it's the world we live in now.
Yeah. Chip, it's interesting, and we've not had the opportunity to talk to as many college coaches probably as we would like, but I wonder, are you in constant recruiting mode with your team as far as that goes?
Yeah. And my question is, in addition to being in constant recruiting mode, how does it affect you as a coach to, how hard do you coach your guys? Because we all see that this generation does not fight through troubled waters quite like we saw in the past, and will or have a quicker trigger to do something. So that is a really fine line to walk, and I'm not sure if I have the right answer about it, but I think you're definitely in recruit mode of your own team, but I think it's about relationship building, and also I think you still have to coach guys hard because I think they see the results, and but you have to do your homework on the front end, knowing if you're gonna have guys on your roster that can be coached hard, and that's up to each and every one of those coaches across the country of how they want to handle that.
Certainly an interesting dynamic.
It really is.
Yeah.
Chip, enjoy your trip. That was not meant to.
Well, I can see Lebanon here in the through the windshield. So about to get on I-40, and you guys helped through the trip, and it'd be fun to talk again next week.
All right. Well,
tell our friend Tommy Bryan we said hey as you run through Lebanon there. Real quick.
I'll shout I'll shout real loud going through here, but I'm kind of impressed that we only lost internet one time that I know of in this little jaunt here.
There you go.
Yeah, you would have expected it to be a little bit more spotty out 231 between Murfreesboro and Lebanon than it was apparently. So yeah, kudos to you. Good job.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, it's time for Top 5 Tuesday, brought to you by our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness. Again, Top 5 Tuesday is brought to you by Thales Steel Athletes, Steel STEEL athletes.com and at Still Athletes on Instagram. Give them a follow. 2 great locations, one in Franklin, the other in Columbia. Today, we go to Twitter. Our top 5 Twitter follows. These are people that we follow on Twitter. So we go now to pick number 1, which was Justin Kulik, because apparently the double quarter pounder with cheese didn't quite make folks excited.
I think I've been on a losing streak lately.
Maybe pick somebody better this time.
I'm trying to do like bandwagon stuff now. So are we going with top pick Twitter follows that we follow, correct?
That we
Yes.
follow. Yes.
Okay. My number 1 will be probably well, if you know who it is, you'll know why. Drewski, if you've ever heard of him, Druski.
Druski.
Yeah, he does like funny skits and stuff.
Okay.
He's hilarious.
I don't know who
familiar
he is,
with
but
him,
that's okay.
I'll shoot y'all some DMs.
Make sure you tag these folks, right?
Absolutely.
My number 1 is going to be 3-year Letterman, because that dude is freaking great. Best troll on Twitter.
He is a heck of a troll, and he's so good and so dry with it that a lot of people don't realize that he's trolling, which
That's
I guess
why
is
it's so good.
half of it. Yeah. Speaking of skits, my number 1 is at Mr. Go 30.
There you go. Coach
Nice.
30. Coach 30. All right, Justin, number 2.
My number 2 is Brian Baldinger. He's the one that breaks down the the
NFL tape.
man.
Yep.
What's his at?
Former player.
Let me
At
check.
Brian Baldinger, I think.
I believe it
Okay.
is. Yes, it is. Oh, it's at Baldy NFL. So BALDY NFL.
That makes sense. All right, I'm going to go with @_dead football, because everyone who knows me knows that I love football leagues that don't exist anymore. And they have you can actually subscribe to their YouTube channel, and they play old football games from
From dead leagues.
Yes, from dead leagues.
That's actually cool.
It's a lot of fun.
My number 2 will be cranking up here in about 10 days. It's at Braves Organist. Matthew Kaminsky.
Matt.
Yeah. Does a really good job through the game of telling you why he's playing what, and letting you guess over the air what walk-up music he's playing for who and that kind of thing. Fun stuff.
Nice.
There
nice.
you go.
Is it my turn or?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. My 3rd is at Annie Agar. She's the one that does the breakdowns of each week.
Yeah.
For the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fun stuff.
She's hilarious. I love those. I mention the Titans a lot, but
Yeah, well,
who does?
All right.
There you go. This one's going to be kind of local, but the Nashville weather. What's it? Nash weather?
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I know what you're talking about, and yeah, that's a
I'll
good
look it
one.
up.
Oh gosh, hold on.
Would it be at _Nashville or Nashville TN? You think?
No, it's Nash Severe WX.
There you go.
They're guys from Williamson County who just cover severe weather in Middle Tennessee, but they're freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
My number 3, keeping it Braves, is Money Mikey.
Money Mikey.
Yeah, Michael Harris the second. He doesn't do a whole lot, or hasn't done a whole lot over the regular season, but when he does come in, he's got good stuff. So
that's true. He and Jazz Chisholm together just are phenomenal.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm's going to be a Brave
eventually one day.
Yeah.
Justin, wish it was
number 4.
now. We could certainly use him.
My number 4 is sort of a, I don't know, I guess a fangirl type thing, but Dave Portnoy, the CEO of Barstool. It's at Stooley President.
Oh yeah.
He just does those emergency press conferences, and they're hilarious.
You know what? This is a parody account, but I like him. and I'm gonna go with no. Number 4 is gonna be Fiddle Saber.
Fiddle Saber.
Fiddle Saber.
You're not gonna know who he is, but he's fantastic. He does, and I know we're out of time for today, but it's fine. Anyway, I'll explain him later.
All right,
Fiddle Saber, R-E, not E-R. Go, Mo.
My number 4 is at Rod Carew _29.
All right.
Nice.
How about we just stop it at 4 today, guys?
Okay,
Top 4 Tuesday.
Top 4 Tuesday. There we go.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow, 2 o'clock here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. See you then.